afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, August 18, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call this Wednesday night after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. You want to make sure you're in a comfortable position, no outside distractions, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Still as a statue. When we get in negative moods, anything can spark it. Could be anything, even a just little trivial thing. But when we get in negative moods, when you begin to go down that road, you realize that it's your choice. You're creating it. Nobody else is. So this is about mastering, and you stop yourself for a moment, step back, and say, do I really want to experience a negative mood? Because this is where you're headed, but you step back, put stop sign up, say, no, I don't believe I do. Because you're recognizing the mood, you realize and honor the fact that you are the one creating and perpetuating this bad mood. Now, a lot of us may believe that something outside of us is responsible for our unhappiness. Yet ultimately, it all comes down to how you are responding. Now, do you look at it as your teacher or your enemy? And happiness is always about the lens we are looking through. Truly enjoying life, currently this life, is always about the lens we are looking through. And truly enjoying life is about taking radical responsibility for the state you are in. Exploring what this negative experience is teaching you can say that you are the one creating this negative experience of your life. Then half of the great battle is over. And you look at it, what is it? The state you're in, exploring what this negative experience is teaching spiritually you. And then finding out the fastest way to let it go. Once you can say, I am the one creating the negative experience of my life, then you're halfway there. Now, the second step towards freedom is learning how to step back from whatever you are resisting, fighting, judging, or hating, and see that actually it is just a bunch of thoughts. Your problems ultimately boil down to ideas that are ultimately passing through the synapses of your brain. Whatever wrong thing your mind, right? Whatever wrong thing you think is happening out there is always happening primarily inside your mind, in here. And the more resistance, judgment, and anger you've built up around this particular idea out there, the greater the joy you'll feel when you shift your relationship with it inside yourself and move on. The moment you learn how to let go of being right about how horrible something or someone is, you discover how good it feels to be wrong. Life always provides the perfect climax at the end. Third step towards releasing your negative mood is returning to the source of who and what you spiritually are. Truly, who and what you are. Are you your name? Are you what others think of you? Or just this physical body filled with meat, blood, and emotional bones? Perhaps there is a deeper spiritual aliveness that is real inside you. If you believe that you are your thoughts, then ask yourself, who and what is watching and listening to them go by? The watcher is the real you. You are not any of these thoughts. You became to close your thoughts. You just became to close your thoughts and got overly identified with them. And the very moment we return to who and what we are, this pure consciousness witness who abides at the very source of thought, then we are home free. The final step is truly, deeply, and sweetly relaxing fully into your body like we do in these meditations, so that there is no tension hiding inside you anywhere. When we can fully relax inside, we become deeply aware beings again. It's easy to see how significant or insignificant and fleeting thoughts actually are. Like a dragonfly cruising past you. One moment it's right there, buzzing in your face and in the breath, gone. When your body is relaxed, we can see how fleeting each thought is and how easy it is to completely change them. The more we can feel into the spiritual truth of who and what we are, we naturally pull back our attention to our real selves. It just feels good, so we naturally do it. Our spiritual nature takes care of us, and we can effortlessly enjoy life, which means we have stopped dwelling on the negative. Our bad mood turns around, and we see the beauty in everything. We are grateful for life again, even for the opportunity to shift out of this negative space. We appreciate, love, and enjoy this simple experience of being alive. We comprehend that if it cannot see God in all, we cannot see God at all. Everything is a choice. We decide. Really and truly. Nobody else decides. We do. We make it all. We create it all. We create everything in our lives for ourselves. Now, how many people do you believe in this now moment on this planet know that? Really, truly know it. Or know that they're not the body, their name, or anything else? I wouldn't say many. Because of distractions. Because distractions are what we create by paying attention to them. Now, if you see a distraction, you say, I'm not going to go there with that. And everything outside of you is an illusion. Everything. Distractions are illusion, all of it. It is all created, believe it or not, all the rough stuff, all the stuff that's exacerbating is an illusion. We go into these bodies and we live in one big, fat illusion. All of it. And then eventually, we leave it. So you can see how easy it is for us to be seduced into it and believe that it's real. And remember, the only thing that is real does not change. And what is real? the God that we are, the pure consciousness, divine perfection. All the other stuff we create to entertain us. And then people say, well, why would we create this or why would we create that? Because, we create it because we have to be entertained. Got to be entertained. And we continuously create. Sometimes we say to ourselves, I didn't create that. I don't know where that came from, but I didn't create it. And you go, but you did, and you retrace your steps and what you were thinking, and it becomes clear. Now, some stuff we create is kind of crazy, right? That's why we have a difficult time believing that we actually created it. Now, the interesting thing about it is that we repeat it because the subconscious mind, which is our recorder, constantly, randomly plays everything back. Everything. Without fail. And we don't know that because it records everything. A hiccup, a burp, a smile, a laugh, a cry. It records it all. And then it randomly plays it back. And see, we really don't know that because we have things that are played back and we do things, we repeat them. And then we say to ourselves, oh, this is really familiar. It seems like I've done this before. And you have. You just don't remember. So this is why we talk about mastering. Mastering your ego mind, mastering your thoughts. And the only way you can do that is in the now. In the present moment. You can't do it any other way, because any other way, you're in the ego mind, which controls you. Period. Now, most people would say, no, it doesn't control me. Nah. It's not controlling me. I mean, I'm in charge. But you ask yourself, in reality, are you? You ought to just randomly, in contemplation on your alone time, review things. Look at them. Not in judgment, but in perspective of your course, the course of your day, how you're thinking. Because you become much more aware, you go, if I think this, then I'm going to attract or create this. And this is why we say, be mindful of your thoughts. Most people are not mindful of their thoughts because they don't correlate or they don't connect the fact that whatever they send out is going to manifest. Because they're not focused, they're not fixated on it or anything. It's these little thoughts that go out that are real quick and random, okay? Unless you negate them. No, thank you. I don't care engaging that. And cancel, clear, delete across all space, time, continuum, and existence. But to be aware is a whole other ball game. Because then we begin to master. We begin to master our thoughts. Okay, in order for me to view the ego mind, I must be in the now. Okay? And I begin to get sensitive to the fact that when different things come in, when different thoughts, I'm able to identify them as ego mind thoughts. Okay? And I'm also able to say, I don't care to engage that thought. Let it pass right through me. And it does. And no matter how many times these thoughts that come up whether repetitive or different, you let it just pass through. You're not interested in engaging it, giving it a lot of time and focus, and you negate it. You leave it alone. Most of us, though, basically unconsciously embrace it and make it our own. And this is how we create what? Suffering. It's really interesting that, see, when you don't know these things, and people, they're an ego mind and they suffer, and they don't know that their true state of being is heart-minded and not ego-minded. And in heart-mind, you don't suffer. You don't have any of that stuff, as I said numerous times before. But see, if you don't know that, you will embrace ego-mind over and over and over again. And you'll get carried along with it. Most of us go through life through ego-mind direction. Few of us begin to pick up on the fact that ego-mind is not something I care to engage with. I know what it's about. It's been around a long time, but I don't care to engage it. And you use the heart mind to master the ego mind. And then the ego mind becomes your servant rather than you being its servant. And then eventually the ego mind finds peace within. And it realizes it's part of the whole. And then it basically retires. It's fascinating when you view this from an observation watching standpoint. When you watch something, you learn. It's like anything. When you watch ego mind, you learn from it. Okay? And when you watch thoughts, you learn from those. You begin to select. You're selective on what you're going to generate and what you're not going to. And whose thoughts are they? Not yours. They're not your thoughts. So then we become learned. We gain knowledge. We perfect. And then we're in what you would call a space of knowing. So we address ego mind and we address our thoughts whenever they come about. And then we're able to direct our thoughts on the things that we choose that we want or desire. And that's how it works. It isn't rocket science, but it's a knowing, and most of us don't know. In fact, we don't have a clue. It's like we're wandering generalities on this planet, being tugged and pulled by the ego mind through life. I'm not saying it's a negative. I'm just saying that we know where it gets us. Right? We know where it gets us. Pain and suffering. And we have habitualized it so much that we feel that it's very much normal. But then when you take a step back from it, you realize it's not your natural state of being. Ego mind is not your natural state of being. Heart mind is your natural state of being. Heart mind connects you with the God that you are. Bottom line. And you embrace that, and you commune with that, and you communicate. Universe is God, God's the universe. You call it universe, call it God, call it pure consciousness, whatever you want to call it. And experience and learn. Wouldn't you rather be aware of that than totally in the dark? Rambling around with ego mind year after year after year after year after year. feeling that you have to protect yourself, feeling this, feeling that. I believe that if most people knew that deeply, they wouldn't choose it. Why would they choose it? They wouldn't. They would say, I just don't care to engage it. What is heart-mind like? What kind of been asked this, what kind of a feeling or a knowing or a being is that? Well, if you were floating, right, in the middle of a massive storm, right in the eye of it, and you were just floating there, and you looked outside of the eye and you saw all this debris and darkness and smashing and electrical splashes and flashes and all kinds of stuff, noise, but you were in the center, floating there, completely at peace. Okay? That's what it's like. You can visualize that. And you don't hear the noise, and you look and you see all the turmoil and all the conflict and all the smashing and banging, but you don't hear anything. And you become completely at ease and in silence. So the turmoil around you is the illusionary storm, which is connected to the ego, which is pain and suffering and worry and stress and fear. The heart mind, the God, the pure consciousness, is your natural state. The other thing is an illusion. Outside of that eye of that storm. It's all an illusion. Created by what? Us. We create the illusion. So, you get to the point where you say, wow, I have the ability to direct as master and commander of my life. Nobody else does. And when that occurs, you begin to master the ego mind, you begin to master your thoughts pretty quickly because you know the direction. Thought comes in, you're not interested in, you let it pass through you. And this is how you become the master as your natural state of being is. And then after a while, you don't need to master anything. You just let it be. You're not managing anything. You're not supervising anything. You're at total peace. You're not interested in engaging anything. You're at total peace. And it's your decision. It's all of our decision to embrace that. To be in total peace or turmoil. Rush and bang and clang through life with the ego mind. I don't believe that the people on this planet would do that. I think if once they knew and they have the tools and the vehicle to redirect, that's what they'll end up doing. See, we're in this big theater that we've created for millions of years. And we've done it so long, and we've done it so often, that you can feel it. It's now a time for the shift, that you move into a whole nother world. A completely different world. People will not recognize this planet in so many years from now. I mean that in a good way. They're not going to recognize it. There's, all these constraints and things happening, and this going on, and that going on. It won't be that way. It'll be the opposite. you won't feel like a prisoner on planet Earth anymore. You feel footloose, fancy-free. But see, the big thing here that I emphasize is heart-mind, not ego-mind. Heart-mind is spiritual. It's our natural state of being, as the gods that we are in these bodies. It isn't it's the opposite of ego-mind. And ego-mind is not our natural state of being. We drop the ego-mind and we embrace heart-mind. That's how this planet's going to be. There isn't going to be, and knowing that, the shift of it, there isn't going to be conflict. There isn't going to be drug abuse. There isn't going to be killings and rapes and murders and explosions and lunacy. It won't exist. And what we witness now on this planet is it is passing, but it's showing the people of planet Earth just how carried away we got with it. And more people are deciding to say, nope, I'm closing the book on that. I'm going to transition into heart-mind, focus on the now, moment to moment, and stay in major, deep, eternal gratitude all the time. I'll join you in meditation. I'll return and close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body, focused on your breath rising and falling. Enlightenment comes from consciously being in touch with the core of your experience. This core is where we evolve our consciousness. For today, search for the central core of your experience. This means that you drop out of your head and into your body, feeling what is truly happening inside it. Bring your attention into the center of your body throughout the day, and welcome whatever shows up in there. Feel your heart and belly deeply. Move more so than ever before. Let this begin with the path inwards, where you discover the core of self-realization. Explore what it's like to truly live and breathe, each breath being in touch with the center of your being. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We'll return here Tuesday, August 19, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.